Hello, everyone on YouTube. Just noticed that you are now live. Do say hello and let me know where you're tuning in from today. We're just getting ready. We're going to just wait a few minutes and we're going to go live on Facebook in just a moment.
Yeah, the one watching now is me.
Oh, thanks for watching, Andy. So for anyone that's just tuned in on YouTube, we're just going to wait a few minutes and we're going to log in to Facebook in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I can actually tell you. Oh yeah, 3 watching. So 2.
Keeps dropping. Yeah, it has gone a bit crazy, hasn't it? Okay, so what time are we?
58.
Cool. So we'll go live. So just remember.
Start live.
Yeah. There we go. And then, so just click on the speech bubble. Like that one. Yeah. And then paste. Yeah. And then, yeah. Send. And then I guess if you hold down on it, we'll click see more. No, that's strange. It doesn't want to work. It didn't work last time.
Doesn't like my finger, maybe.
It's really strange. Hello, we are live. Hi, everyone on Facebook. How are you doing? You need to turn that around.
Oh.
Bear with me. We're just having a couple of technical difficulties. No idea how you did that. There we go. Hello, we are here. Sorry about that. Hi to everyone on Facebook. Hi to everyone on YouTube. Please let me know where in the world you're tuning in from, and do say hello, say hi, give me a like. Let me know that you can all see me, you can all hear me, and let me know if you're ready to cook. Whereabouts in the world are you? And also, what is the weather like where you are? Hey Rob, how you doing? Where are you tuning in from? Do you want to pop it on? Yeah, mute. Yeah. Hi Julie, how are you doing? And on YouTube as well, let me know where you're tuning in from in the world. We'll just give it a few minutes to get going. Hi Edith. Edith's joining from Orlando. You're still in Orlando, aren't you? Hi Arvita. Hi Andy.
Hello.
You're watching here and here.
Yes.
That's crazy. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Skidders in Royal Leamington Spa. You're watching today. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Where in Birmingham are you? So yeah, let me know. Are you cooking today? Are you just watching today? Maybe you'll cook later on. Hi, Helen, how's it going? From Oswald Twistle. Is that how you say it? Where in the world is that? I think I've butchered that. Hi Matt, how's it going? Dina, from good old Birmingham. Hi Neil, how you doing? Thanks for sending that YouTube video through, by the way. That gave me a lot of laughs this morning. Hi Yaz. Hello Shirley from Hot Tampa. Amazing. No problem. We'll catch up later on.
Mum is here.
Is my mum here? Woo! I wasn't sure if mum was joining me today. So we'll just give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. It is looking pretty grim in Birmingham where I am right now. It was beautiful before. I had one of those days where I was just in the zone, focused, kind of quite a busy morning this morning. And I was wearing like a really woolly jumper and like thick jeans. And I went out and realized it's really hot outside. It was very hot this morning. Yeah, it's not winter, believe it or not. It is summer. No. It's 22 degrees.
No.
Hi Hazel from Whitefield. Hey Louise, how you doing? I'm really excited about today's class. I feel like it's going to inject a lot of colour into the afternoon. It's really good. Has anyone actually heard of Batata Vada? And if you have you tried them? Or has anyone been to Mumbai? Because this is one of Mumbai's famous street food snacks. Let me know. Mumbaikars are actually very famous for their street food. So yeah, and if anyone did the Bombay sandwich with me, Well, how long ago was that now? That was at the beginning of lockdown, I think.
Oh, wow.
That went down very, very well. That's a good testament to how good Mumbai street food is. It's cheesy.
Oh, yeah,
it's
remember
spicy.
that sandwich, yes.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, I think we're going to get started. Let's get going in just a sec. How are we on YouTube? If you are watching on YouTube, can you let me know that you can hear me and see me? Hi, Jill. And also, guys, on Facebook, if you can someone just let me know that sound is all okay and you can see me okay. And then I will start on your side as well. I'm working with Andy today. Andy, do you want to say hi? Andy is my glamorous assistant. If you've ever done a cookery class in Birmingham, you would have seen Andy. Andy, you're always there. You're like one hand away. Every time I need Andy, like, oh, I need a fork or I need a whisk, you're like, it's there already. So yeah, Andy is sort of my right-hand man. Brilliant. We are going to get started. So thank you to everyone who's joining me today. I feel like most of you are my regulars, like my Spice Club crew.
Nice.
I feel like we need a name for you guys. I feel like Spice Clubbers? No. That was terrible. No, we need something a bit better.
We'll think of something.
Yeah, I'm going to do my intro anyway, just for anyone that hasn't watched before. My name is Monica, and I run the Spice Club, which is an Indian cookery school in Birmingham and also in Manchester. And the ethos for me from the get-go has always been to showcase, Amy said the Spice Girls, we're leaving out the boys. My ethos from the beginning has always been to showcase what home-style Indian food is all about. So we're talking regional family recipes, been passed down through the family, and we're also talking food from all around India. And for me, my aim of the game is really to demystify Indian cookery. It's to, show you that Indian food is more than this word curry that we use as a sort of blanket term, and really, show off the micro cuisines that India has to offer. So if you go to the north, the south, the east, the west, the food is really, really different. Spices are used in different ways. So I love to show that in each of my classes. It's a focus on a very specific region every single time. So if you come back, you'll learn something completely different. So let's talk about today's class. Today is a little focus on a very popular Mumbai street food snack called Batata Vada. Can you guys say that? Can you say that, Andy?
Teach me again.
Batata Vada. 8 out of 10.
Batata Vada.
That was pretty good. Yeah. I'm going to pretend that you guys are saying that at home. Essentially, batata refers to the fact that it's a potato made from potato, and vada refers to the fact that it's sort of like a fried snack. Okay, a fried sort of dumpling, if you will. So it's spiced mashed potatoes. We're going to dip it in a gram flour batter and then deep fry it. And it's amazing and it's absolutely delicious. So we're going to get involved right now. So if you can let me know in the comments who is watching and who is cooking. Same goes in for YouTube as well. Who is cooking and who is watching with me. If you are cooking, we're going to talk about the first thing that's going to go in our pan. So before we get started on that, actually, I have cooked my potatoes here in the microwave, actually. Just bung them in a freezer-safe bag. Just tied up the bag, put about 600 grams of potatoes in. I think that took maybe 10 minutes. I love cooking my potatoes in the microwave because it's really easy. There's no washing up to do. And it keeps your potatoes nice and dry as well. So if you have got your potatoes ready, if you can just make sure they're peeled, and I've just mashed them down with a fork. Ed, Neil, Dev, Mary, you're all just watching today. That's okay. You can watch back later.
You got a compliment on your dress.
Oh, thank you very much. So in terms of the next step, we're gonna off our onions, our ginger, and our garlic. So if you can get your pan on the hob, and I will try and turn on my cooker. It's on child lock. There we go. Thank you very much. So we're just going to get the pan nice and hot. I'm going to probably put in about a couple of tablespoons of oil. I'm using a very neutral sunflower oil. You can use vegetable oil. You can use an olive oil. We don't want to make this mixture too greasy. So I'd rather go less now and maybe add more if I need it. So probably on YouTube, can you guys see my pan? Can you just adjust the camera, Andy, please, if you don't mind? So I'm probably going to put in, and I'm eyeballing this, a couple of tablespoons as well. Yeah, about a couple of tablespoons, not more than that. All right, so we'll get this nice and hot. Peter, you're just watching tonight. How's the pizza going on your end? Denise, you're just watching today. Butter chicken last week was amazing. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Anyone else came for the butter chicken? Yes, last week. And is anyone else cooking? Am I just cooking on my own today?
Maybe just us.
Is it just me just cooking these up for your entertainment? It's fine. I'm very happy to eat these and do this for your entertainment. That's not a problem for me in the slightest. So one thing that's really important when we cook our spices, especially whole spices, in hot oil is to make sure that we work very quickly. So the first thing that's going to go in the pan is mustard seeds. And I am going to put in a good teaspoon of mustard seeds. As soon as the mustard seeds go in, if you are using curry leaves, we're going to add in curry leaves. So I've already chopped up some curry leaves. If you are leaving them out, you can just leave them out. If you're using dried, you can put those in as well. And we need to work quickly. So the mustard seeds will go in, the curry leaves will follow, and then the onions are going to go in. So we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to go boom, 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 because we don't want anything to burn. As soon as the mustard seeds go in your oil, they should sizzle, they should crackle a little bit, and that's an indication to you that yes, my oil is definitely hot enough. I can see mine is visibly getting a little bit of smoke coming out, so that means it's definitely hot enough. So we're going to go one by one. So mustard seeds, a good teaspoon, and they're sizzling and they'll crackle and pop in a second. We're going to go in with curry leaves, and then we're going to go in with onions. Now, curry leaves are optional. They do have this in the original recipe, but you don't have to put them in. I know, I appreciate that it's quite difficult to source fresh curry leaves.
Yes, Monica, we do have quite a few people cooking with us today.
Really amazing.
Yeah, we have,
who is cooking with me today?
Hi,
Hi,
Dina,
yeah.
Kelly, Laura.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It's not just me.
No.
So once your mustard seeds are in, curry leaves are in, and how good do those curry leaves smell, by the way? Really good.
Okay.
And the onions.
Yes.
You just want to saute them very, very lightly. So we're just getting a little bit of colour on the onions. Next, I asked you to have about a large clove's worth of garlic. I've already grated that, and that's going in. And then ginger as well, grated, about 2-3 centimetres of garlic. And we're just going to give that a saute as well. So not a lot of oil in the pan. I've got just enough to ensure, just so you can see that YouTube, that that nothing's going to burn. We're not looking to caramelize the onions here. We're not looking to caramelize and make a very thick gravy for a meat curry or anything. We basically just want to get rid of the raw element.
So yeah, Helen's been making the butter chicken twice.
Oh,
and
amazing.
Peter's making your tandoori chicken special.
Oh, very good.
Nice. Yeah, and Hazel's cooking as well.
Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. So Peter has a pizza business, and we talked about some Indian toppings on there. So the tandoori chicken pizza is special, I think, on your menu. Is that still going? Heather, no worries. That's fine. Okay, so basically this has been on a low to medium heat. Onions, ginger, garlic have a very light golden hue on there. That's perfect. I'm now going to turn the heat off. And you can see it's not very greasy. When you're deep frying foods, the stuffing really shouldn't be over greasy. So I'm treating the potato as a stuffing. And now to this sort of tempered onion, ginger and garlic mix, we're going to add in our potatoes. So I've turned the pan off. And actually, I'm going to do it the other way around.
Ooh.
Do you mind just moving the cooker ever so slightly to the
Yeah.
left? I'm actually going to add in what's in the cooker to my potatoes. The reason why is we want this mixture to be slightly cool. Now, if you've already done it in the pan, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. I'm being a bit pedantic about it. Just if you do it this way, it will cool down a bit quicker. That's all. Because the pan's going to stay hot for a little bit.
Dina asked, did the garlic and ginger gone in?
yeah, so we've onion, as soon as the onion went in, maybe like a minute later, the ginger and the garlic went in. And what we do is we're cooking out the rawness. We're not really spending a lot of time caramelizing anything. Just so when we bite into this, you know, as well as it being deep fried, it's got a nice little bit of colour on there. And when it sautés through, it doesn't have that raw flavour. So that is now on my potatoes, okay? And we're going to spice this now. So before we do spice it, I asked you to add in to finely chopped chili or get a chili. I have finely chopped it here, okay? So you can use one chili, you can use two chilies. I've got bird's eye chilies and I've got two. That's quite spicy for the amount of potatoes we got here. So maybe you might just want to do one, and we're also going to use chili powder as well. I think street food, fried food should be quite hot. I always remember just, you know, going and getting street food in India, and it is very spicy there. Like, I like it spicy.
Yeah.
This is like Andy spicy, which is it's got a hit. This is Monica spicy, but then street food spicy is right here. Yeah, so it's hot. And I think you get an element of fun, you know, when it is hot in Mumbai, and then the food's hot, and you're sweating, and it's really tasty, but you can't stop eating. So yeah, all of that combined just adds to the fun of eating street food. So coriander and chili have gone in the onions. Great. And now we're gonna add our seasoning and our spicing as well. So first thing is salt. Salt is one of those things you'd rather go less on the first, and then taste, tweak, and add more if you need to. YouTube, just so you know, you can see what's going on here. So I'm going to add in about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt just to begin with, and then we're going to see if we need any more. Essentially, you probably have enough if you kind of sprinkle it evenly to cover everything, kind of, sort of. Salt in, lovely. We're then going to add in. Does anyone know what this is just by looking at it? I don't know why I'm asking you that, because you have a list of what the spices are, so you can probably figure it out. This is amchur. The word you guys should know this by now. The word means mango, and chur means powder. So when I ask this as a guess in our cookery classes, most people guess ginger powder, don't they? Yeah. They always say ginger powder, but it's not. And we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of amchur.
Some people think it might be kiwi powder or...
Yeah, that's true as well, yeah. I think we had nutmeg as well. Yeah. If you don't have amchur, you can use lime juice, so maybe about juice of 1/4 of a lime. Coriander powder is going in next, and you're going to add in just over 1/2 teaspoon, maybe just shy of 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'm actually going to put a pinch more in. If one thing with coriander powder, I don't buy coriander powder. I always grind it down from seed. Whenever you buy a spice box from Spice Club shop, we always provide cumin seeds and coriander seeds, so you can use them whole. But then if you want to make your own powder, the flavour is so intense, so we always just give them in whole form, and then you can make your own powder. Once the coriander powder is in, we're going to add in some paprika, and we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon. Now in Mumbai, they generally don't add paprika, they just add chili powder. But I like a slight red tinge on the stuffing. In Mumbai, you'll see it's quite a yellow colour, but I like it ever so slightly orangey. Yes, have you got questions?
Yes, Kelly asked, was it coriander stalk that goes in as well? Yeah,
so I folded up the bunch of coriander, and then leaf and stem. There's loads of flavour in coriander stem. Turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon. That'll add a bit of earthiness. It'll add a little bit of, obviously, colour as well. And then, this is optional, chili flakes, chili powder, literally just a pinch. Okay, because it's good, it's spicy.
Looks amazing.
It's colourful. Yeah, looks really good, doesn't it? So this is what it should look like right now. If you want, this is the time where you can call your kids in and get them to do the messy work and mix all of this together. But I don't have any kids. So it's just me. And I'm just going to get a glove on, so it just saves with washing up. And I'm just going to mix this together. So what I'll do is I'll do this on the table, because I don't trust myself and my butterfingers. So hopefully you guys can see that. YouTube, I'll show you in just a second. So the idea is, ideally, you want a mixing bowl or a large tray or plate. And if you're doing this in the saucepan, that's fine as well. So you can kind of see all the colours coming together. there were a few of you that said that you couldn't source gram flour, which is okay because actually this mix in itself is so tasty. You could create like spiced potato cakes, like aloo tikkis, which is a Punjabi street food snack, and you could just, I know, you always look forward to that that class.
Yeah. Can you just repeat what's gone in?
Yeah, of course I can. So salt was about 3/4 teaspoon. Then we added in amchur, which was about 1/4 teaspoon or half teaspoon, between 1/4 to half. And if you don't have that, you can add in juice of 1/4 lime. Then we added in about 3/4 teaspoon of coriander powder. And then we added in about the same amount of paprika. It's like a test. Then we added in, I think, 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. And then we added in just a pinch of chili powder. That's optional. Did I pass the test?
Yeah.
I guess we won't know unless someone corrects me or I rewatch this. So give this a really good mix and we're nearly there. I'm basically looking for everything to be a nice uniform colour.
Have you put the gram flour in yet?
No. So we're going to create a batter from the gram flour in a moment. I always just like to get the stuffing done first. And what I'm going to do now as well is give it a quick taste, because it would be the worst thing if we made all of these, fried them, and then we thought, oh, that could have done with a bit of salt. Like, could have done that beforehand. So let me just give it a quick taste. This is just for salt and chili, and I'm going to add in a pinch more salt and a pinch of coriander powder. That's just my personal taste. If you think the salt's okay, you can leave it. If you want to make it a bit spicier, now is the time. And I'm actually going to add a pinch of mango powder as well. So it's missing a little bit of tartness. Depending on what potato variety you've got, mine are red, mine are slightly sweet, which is quite nice. You just need to see what the flavors are like and how they take to your spices as well. So that can really change up the end taste of your batata vada as well. Some people in Mumbai, they add a little bit of sugar, depending on the variety of their potatoes, just to kind of help balance things out if their potatoes are maybe slightly on the bitter side or not quite as sweet as another variety. Smells really good. Okay, we're there now. So everything's mixed in again. I'm happy with salt, I'm happy with chili, I'm happy with amchur. Those are kind of the three things I always really test with street food snacks: salt, chili, and that tartness factor as well. So we've almost got this element of a dough. And now is the time. I'm actually going to get a bit messy here. Take my glove off. Guys, on Facebook, this is what we're looking at for our mixture, and same on YouTube there. And we're going to get making our balls. Now, if you're going to Mumbai and you're getting this full size, this is the size you're going for. So it's probably like a good golf ball size. And I'm probably going to make 2 or 3 big ones because I want to show you how we serve them in Mumbai. So you basically use your hand to form the ball first and then smooth out between your palms. So a really tasty golf ball. That's the tagline for it. So I'm going to do 3 big ones, and then the rest I'm going to make them a bit smaller because I like the idea of having little mini ones to snack on as well, which will be about half the size. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, great. For those of you who are cooking, just give me a quick thumbs up to let me know if everyone is on the same point as me. If you have one the proper size and you serve it in the fluffy bun like they do in Mumbai, it's probably like enough to fill you up.
Oh, wow.
That's dinner done. Because it's carb in carb.
Yeah.
In carb.
Oh, we're getting quite a lot of thumbs up now.
Great, fantastic. So we're all kind of there. So I'll do 2 big ones, 3 big ones, and then the rest ones I'll make mini. So you could have them as little snacks. You could have them as little canapes if you've got guests coming over. That's quite nice, actually. You could use this as a stuffing inside. So this is a Rajasthani street food snack. It's called mirchi pakora. So you could use this stuffing inside a long chili or a pepper. There's pointed peppers or a padron pepper. dip it in the ground flour batter, and deep fry
very
those.
versatile.
So versatile, yeah. Make potato cakes, use it as a stuffing. So many things you could do with them. So the ones I'm going to make that smaller are maybe, what would you say, ping pong sized? Maybe slightly smaller than ping pong sized. About the ping pong sized. Ish.
Squash, is that what you call it?
Squash? I don't know what a squash ball looks like, so that doesn't help me. For anyone that plays squash, it looks like a squash ball apparently in terms of size. Do you play squash?
No.
But you know what the size of a squash ball is.
I mean, once or twice in my life.
No, I have played squash as a kid. Actually, I won Squash Player of the Week when I was like 7 once. Haven't forgot about that one time. Okay. So you can see, you can make quite a lot from, you know, just over a half kilogram of potato here. If you're making this for kids as well, you can make a really nice sweet potato version, I think. Just to kind of sweeten it up and the spices won't be too much. So I'll roll out a couple more and then we'll get, and if you wouldn't mind, popping this oil on maybe number 2.
Okay.
So we've got some oil for deep frying in a wok here, which I'll show you in just a moment. It's about 4, and if you wouldn't mind showing the wok actually, Andy. So it's about 4 centimeters of oil in that. If you just want to inside, roughly. I like to use a small wok when I'm deep frying, simply because I don't deep fry that often, or we generally don't at home. So I don't like to have to store a lot of oil. The smaller pan you use, the better. So a wok works incredibly well, or maybe like a wide, deep-ish saucepan would work. Cool. One more. Getting carried away here. And then we're going to start on the batter. So if you were doing this for a party, you know, you can make these way in advance. And I'll also talk to you about how to fry if you want to do it for a party as well, and you don't want to really spend that much time in front of the cooker whilst guests are here. Okay, I can roll those ones later on. So I've just done 3 biggish ones, and the rest I've done little small ones. Okay. So give me a Y in the comments, or maybe a thumbs up, just to let me know that, yeah, you are where I am. And then we will move on to the batter. So I don't want to start unless you are with me. Would you mind just passing me that tea towel, please? Thank you. Let me know, guys, in the comments, how are we doing? Are you with me? Pop a Y in there for me. Or a thumbs up will let me know that you are where I am. And you've rolled out everything. So we're going to get started on the batter. And the batter is made from ground flour.
Nope, still rolling, apparently. Okay,
great. So when you get to where I am, just let me know. I've got roughly around 200 grams of ground flour here. A few of you asked, could you use a different flour? And really, with this, you need chickpea flour. You can't really get away with a ground flour. A plain flour, unless you were making something tempura-esque. But this probably isn't the best thing for that. So yeah, keep going, Helen. You did well to roll balls and to type that comment out simultaneously. Well done. Smart skills. If you are ready, I will just very quickly go over what we're going to do, which is to get out some salt, some turmeric, and some chili powder. And into the ground flour in a moment, we're going to add each of these things. And we're only adding a pinch. We're not going overkill on the flavouring of the batter because the stuffing is so flavorful already. We don't really need to go crazy on the batter. But we don't want it to be bland, so it is important to season. So we're going to add roughly around a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'll go over these measurements in just a moment. Okay, in case anyone is still rolling.
Got a Y from Hazel.
Thanks, Hazel. Are you? Is the hub watching today, Hazel? Is he watching you cook his amazing dinner? Yeah, we'll get more people getting to
Rob loves the taste of ground flour.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's so nutty. It really is lovely. Chili powder. We're going to add in not even a 1/4 teaspoon, just Charlotte quarter.
So that's all good here.
Great, fantastic. And then turmeric, we're going to add in a quarter of a teaspoon as well. So just to go over spices.
Alan's ready.
Brilliant. We're going to do a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of turmeric, and a quarter teaspoon, not even, of chili powder. And just give that a quick mix. I'm just going to use a spoon. Yeah, there's something really lovely about the flavour of gram flour. And the beautiful thing about the street food snack as well is that it's accidentally gluten-free. It's accidentally. It is accidentally. It wasn't intentional. Okay. And it's accidentally vegan as well. So it really does tick, so it's a really good one to make. Yeah, Peter, you said you might put this on your menu. It's a really good one to make for things like, parties and what have you. Just mix everything in. Now's the time that we're going to add water. Now, for this, guys, we're looking to make a nice thick batter that coats the back of a spoon. So I'm probably, if I was going to measure this, I've roughly measured about 250 mils of water, but we're not going to add in the whole amount. We're just going to gauge it by what the batter looks like. So I'm going to focus on the bowl here, okay? And we're going to go a little bit at a time. If we do go overkill, we can compensate by adding more flour, but I'd rather not go overkill because we've seasoned according to this amount. Also, I have sifted this flour, which is not essential, but if you do sift it, it helps to create a nice smooth batter. So I have already pre-sifted. So I'm probably going to add about half the amount of water that I've got in here. And we're going in for a whisk. So I found that a smaller whisk works a bit better than a bigger whisk. Okay, so now that's kind of come together a little bit. I'm now going to add in a bit more. So probably add nearly the whole amount. So this is not a super thin batter. This has, it should be, a little bit thicker than a pancake batter. It needs to grip the vada. It needs to grip the potato balls, but it can't be too thick that it's stodgy. So I can see here, that's almost like toothpaste type consistency. That's too thick. Can you see I can't get it off the whisk? So we need to keep going. So I always have, a little bit of extra. I've not done the full 250 yet. So keep whisking. And we really want to get rid of all those lumps. And I'm definitely going to add in a bit more. This is definitely a recipe, when I was learning it, you look at Indian chefs, my mum as well, I'd say, well, how much water's in there? And, she would say, well, you just add enough until it's enough. What does that mean? And it's basically a case of, by mixing and getting it to a certain texture and consistency so it should, when it's ready, it should drip without breaking really. So we're going to go in with a bit more. Probably going to do the whole amount. So that's now about 250 mils. So there we go. We're going to get really mixing now. And we're going to get a nice smooth batter. This is also a good stage to get kids involved in as well. Getting a lot more younger people inquiring about cookery classes nowadays, and it's amazing to see. I think pre-COVID we had a boy that was 14 that came to one of our cookery classes, which was incredible, and he was really into his spices and cooking with spices, and it's nice to get the kids involved. So this is what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for it to be a smooth batter, and when you're picking it up with your whisk, it's not really breaking. It should easily coat the back of the spoon. Yeah, I'm happy with that. There's a lump in my whisk. Let me see if I can get it out of water. Come out, whisk. Lump. Okay, I'm just going to give it one last little whisk. Can you give me a quick why in the comments? Let me know that you are with me. And this is what your consistency of your batter looks like. Also going to give the batter a quick taste.
YouTube.
I'll come back to that. See? Yeah, I'm happy with that. You might not enjoy tasting the batter raw, but I always do. It's not particularly appetizing, but I always do taste batter, and I always taste stuffing before I deep fry.
Yeah, we've got a couple of wine. We've got Tony, Dina, Kelly.
Sweet. Excellent. So let's come back to the oil. So requested for you to kind of prep a sunflower or a vegetable oil or just something neutral to put in your wok for deep frying. And we'll talk a little bit about how we know the temperature is right for deep frying as well. So what I want to do, I know this is too cold already, I can tell. Hi, Ila Didi. So that's my cousin who's just tuned in she's not far from Mumbai actually. She's in Gujarat. Okay, so I've just dropped a little bit of batter into my oil. And it's staying at the bottom for a little bit and then it's coming up. It should really kind of it should sort of come down and then come up straight away, maybe within about 5 seconds. And it should stay yellow. If it comes up to the top immediately and it turns brown, or golden I should say, it means that the oil is too hot. You're probably looking at about 175 degrees if you are someone that likes to measure things in terms, and you're quite pedantic about stuff like that. So yeah, this is a good way. I'm just going to give it another minute. Not even actually. Yeah. So that went down to the bottom and came up in about 3 or 4 seconds. I want to be a little bit quicker than that. Yeah, great. So that's now coming up. It's staying yellow, and this is perfect. Okay. So we're going to, at this point, dip in our balls into our batter and then put it in. There's 2 different ways of doing this. I'll do the big ones first, and let's do it in such a way that you can see everything that's happening. And we'll just move everything out of the way. Lovely. Lovely. Right. Okay. A lot of people do get quite freaked out with cooking with a lot of oil and deep frying, but once you go through the process, it's actually not that scary at all. So, Andy,
Yes.
let's just get a tablespoon from the drawer. Actually, I've got one here. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, I surprised myself with how organised I am. Genuinely, I do. Okay. So I'm going to dip a ball in here. Let's go with a big one. And this is sort of an easy way to do it. If you use your spoon to cover the potato ball, and then just make sure it's really well covered, and then just very, very gently drop it into the oil. And I'm going to do another one in the same way. So batter all over. Make sure it's really well covered. It should look quite smooth. And then in that goes. Make sure your ball is next to your oil. And don't worry if there are a little bit of extra squiggly bits of batter. That's perfect. We actually need those for the way that it's served. I'm going to show you in a second for the third one. Once you've put them in, you can start moving them straight away. They pretty much will start sealing immediately. Okay, I'm going to do another one. In India, what they do is, and I'll show you with the smaller ones, they actually use their hands to dip it in, but it can be a bit fiddly and it is definitely very, very messy. So this is a very easy way of doing it that doesn't get gram flour batter everywhere, so you're cleaning it for hours afterwards, which does happen. Okay, so give it a few seconds before you start moving it. Allow the balls to just seal, so that's been a few seconds, and then just turn over so it gets that even temperature. So for the first 2 to 3 minutes, they should stay light golden in colour. Okay, I'm actually going to cook these 3 before I add any of the small ones in, because then they'll all cook at the same temperature. So the more scraggly bits, I don't know if there's an official name for these. There is bundi. So these are called bundi. Can you say bundi?
Bundi.
That's spot on, yeah. So these are called bundi, and these are they're really crunchy, and we add them to our vada pav, which we're going to make with the bun and the chutney. So it smells so good. It doesn't take that long because the potatoes are already cooked. We basically just want to cook these at a medium temperature for the first 2 to 3 minutes, and then the last 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to put them on a medium to high temperature to crisp them up slightly. So if you find that once you put your bunda in, it's just turning golden straight away, that's a problem. You need to make sure it takes a good, 3 to 6 minutes to get golden all over it. I'm actually just going to use a spoon to keep them moving. How are we doing, guys? Just keep these. These are also called aloo bonda. So they're called batata vada, aloo bonda, aloo vada, depending on where you are in the country. And actually, the interesting story about how batata vada came to Mumbai, and it is interesting. I'll tell you in just a second. I'm going to take out my bundi, by the way, because they are nice and light and golden and crispy in colour. So whenever you're taking anything out of oil, for anyone that made the Bengali lentil pakoras with me, you'll remember I said just strain as much as you can. Yeah, do you mind grabbing the plate, please? And then we're going to pop it on some paper in just a second. It's just here, Andy. That's fine. I'll get it, actually. So just on a piece of a napkin, kitchen paper. Oh, should have kept those moving. So yeah, try and keep them moving. You don't want them to stay in one place. So we're getting nice and golden on the batata vadas as well. We're nearly there. If you feel them as well, they should feel quite crispy. So I'm happy with those.
They look quite dry. I mean,
yeah, they shouldn't be oily. Yeah, they are. So I'm actually going to switch from a slotted spoon to a basket, which I find a little bit easier for draining. So can you see these? Let me just do 2 at a time. Beautiful, crispy and dry. We'll take those out. And let's take you out. Ooh, that wasn't a good idea. So slow and steady is really the best advice I always give when, we'll talk about deep frying. Keep things next to your wok. Don't feel like, here, let me just show you. Oh, that's really hot. That's testing my asbestos fingers here. So nice, dry. They're actually very crispy. They will soften. They're supposed to soften. Right, let's go in more ones. If you want to test the temperature of the oil beforehand, you can do. Perfect. So this time, smaller ones, spoon over the batter, and drop that in. So I'm going to work quickly because I want them to cook at the same time. You can drop a few in at a time if you want. Coat, drop. The more scraggly bits, the better. The more bundi you make, the better. So don't worry about that. Just make sure you keep your bowl next to your wok so it's less messy for you. There we go. You can probably fit at least 2 or 3 more in here. So you don't want to overcrowd the pan, but if you've got space, use it. What happens if you overcrowd the pan and you add too many in is the temperature of the oil drops and let's keep this moving. Yeah, so as soon as they go in, it is important, after maybe about 10 seconds, you start moving them. I am going to add in these last 2 as well. What happens if you overcrowd the pan is the temperature of the oil drops significantly, and you often end up with very, very greasy deep fried snacks because you need the oil to be nice and hot. I really want to dig in right now. Now with the batata vadas, even though these are ready to rock and roll and eat, you do need to let them get to a slightly lower temperature because you will burn your mouth. I'm saying that from personal experience, everyone. Impatient.
But I would say sorry to have missed this, but we'll be making these. They look amazing.
Who's this?
Beth.
Beth.
B-E-V.
Oh, Beth. Hi, Bev. Yeah, no worries. You can catch up whenever you want. The recipe will be on spicediary.com. So I was telling you about the history of Batata Vadas, which you may or may not want to know about, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I've got time to kill whilst these are cooking. So I'm going to take out these bundies. The Portuguese colonized Goa a very long time ago, and when they did, they brought potatoes with them. They introduced potatoes to India. And I believe the word batata is what they use, or something quite similar, to refer to potatoes. That's their word for potatoes. So they brought potatoes over, and we started using them in our cuisine. And they also brought bread with them. Now, this traditional white fluffy bread, we never really had it in India because the use of yeast, we never used yeast in India before the Portuguese came to the country. And so they asked the local Indians, do you have yeast? We want to create the bread. And they said no. So they created toddy, which is, a drinkable fermented liquor. And they used to make their bread from that. And so they created these lovely fluffy white baps. And a lot of people in Goa, eventually after colonization, they moved to Mumbai. And they took their bread with them to Mumbai. It's interesting, isn't it? Mm. It's supposed to be like, yes, make some interesting noises, Andy. Because I can't hear them from the audience over here. And they took the bread with them. And then the Mumbaikas sort of embraced the bread. Oh. And that's what's called pao. So if you've ever heard of vada pao, that's what we're going to make at the end when we put the vadas in our fluffy buns. And yeah, there was one street food trader that was making these aloo bondas, these batata vadas, and he was situated by a train station, and he thought that if you put these batata vadas inside a white bun, it would be a really easy way of commuters to be able to take their food with them on the go. So there's your history lesson for today. Have I lost some followers after that?
Just drop. Now, Rob asking, what will you do with the leftover batter?
So I've still got more potatoes, so I will do more potato vadas. But if you wanted to, you can make amazing spicy pancakes with these. So finely chop up some potato, finely chop up some onions, add in some chilies, add in some coriander, and thin it down ever so slightly so it is the consistency of a pancake batter. And then get out a crepe pan or a non-stick frying pan, add a little bit of oil, and make thin, spicy gram flour pancakes. There's a recipe on spicediary.com for that if you type in pancake. I got you, Rob. Right, look, these are coming out of the pan. Look how good they look! Smell incredible. So don't worry if you've got these little tails. Ah, feeding you guys. They look so good. I'm going to place these on. I'm going to take out the bundi as well. So we're looking for a light golden colour. So if you were to eat them now straight out the pan, you would burn your mouth, but you would experience the crunchiness. However, when you let them settle to room temperature, that's when you can really taste the stuffing. And it will soften, and that's fine. The bundi stays crispy. And I'm going to show you how we assemble the sandwich. How are we doing, guys? Are we getting the hang of this? I'm going to do the last bit of my potato balls. Are we getting there? Pop a Y in the comments for me so I know that you are where I am and I'm not racing ahead. Or maybe you guys have raced ahead of me and I've just been blabbing on too much, which is very possible. So I'll probably get 4 out of these-ish.
So can you do with those...
Batata vadas? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the I can't pronounce
the
it.
bundi.
The bundi.
You did it.
Yes.
You did it so well. Yeah. What about them?
Yeah. What do you eat? Just like
snacks?
Or,
yeah, they're just like, so they're often in like different variations of bundis are in Bombay mix.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just really, you could mix them with a bit of chili powder, a bit of chaat masala, and make nice snacks out of them. But we're going to put them in our vada pav in a second, our crunch factor, which I will show you in just a moment. Let me fry off these last 4. Because you know Debs is going to come downstairs when these are done.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to need a decent amount.
Yeah. Dinner's almost done. Almost
Yay!
done. 6 more left to fry.
Brilliant. How have you guys found it so far? Hopefully not too crazy. But yeah, leftover butter, you can absolutely do loads with that in terms of making those pancakes. Those pancakes, you can stuff them, you can top them. You can slice up potatoes and use it like a tempura batter, slice up aubergines. You could do like a dry rub on your potatoes first with some salt, some mango powder, some chili, and then dip them and fry them. Once you've got your oil hot, you might as well. Most of you, I'm sure, have got potatoes in. You could do onion rings, dip those in.
Oh, yeah.
Just anything that you need to get rid of in the fridge, dip it in there and deep fry it, and you're good to go. It's a great way of recycling vegetables in your fridge. Just dip it in a gram flour batter and deep fry it. And you can call it, a broccoli stem pakora or whatever it is that you need to recycle in your fridge.
Hazel already tasting it. She said they're delicious.
Oh, fantastic. I'm going to show you how I'm serving them now. So we'll just give these another couple of minutes. If you are serving them proper Mumbai style, guys, you will need your fluffy white buns, which I haven't made. I did, just they're not authentic Indian cows. They are just baps from my local shop. Okay. Now, I also gave a link for the coriander and mint chutney, and these are delicious, just dunked into that. So this is fresh mint, coriander, chili, lime. Again, the recipe for this is on my website, spicediary.com. Super fresh, super zingy. You just, dip these in. Perfect. Such a nice canapé, such a nice snack. However, what we're going to do is we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to serve it vada pav. And Andy, in the fridge, through there, in a steel box with holes in it, there are some chilies in the steel box with some holes in it. I'm going to show you how to serve this up properly. So if you have your butter, we're going to smother up one side with a bit of our green chutney. Perfect, that's great. And the other side as well. Andy, and a knife if you don't mind, please. That's what I just like to say, thank you. My grandma, when we were younger, she used to mix this coriander and mint chutney with tomato ketchup in white bread, on white bread rather, and then make cheese sandwiches with this and coriander mint chutney and tomato ketchup. It's delicious. Thank you. Just take those last ones out. And would you mind just moving the oil on the cooker, please?
Okay.
Thank you very much. It's amazing having Andy around. Such an essential. Okay, so we'll move this cooker out of the way and then I can show you properly. Actually, I wanted to put some oil. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, I want to do the second one. Yes, if you wouldn't mind moving, that's fantastic. But just make sure it's a little bit hot. So do be careful. Thank you. Second bun here on the bottom. And the top. Bring my plate over so you can see. Okay, so now what we do is we place the bundi on the bottoms. So let me fish out some bundis. Let me put this here so you can see them as well. Mountain of bundas here we've got. And we're going to fish out the bundis at the bottom. Where are you? So, and these are quite crispy. If you eat these, they're incredibly crispy and crunchy. So they add crunchiness. And then you place the bonda. I'm going to go for the mega bonda on top. There's also a garlic and peanut dry chutney that they make, but I think it actually works just really well with the green chutney. And then you place this on top, and that is your vada pav. So let's go again. It's so funny that this is a typical Mumbai street food. When you look, it looks like a burger.
Yeah.
So Western looking. So we're going to go again. Bundis at the bottom. Even the bundis are really tasty. Try the bundis on their own. They're really tasty and super crunchy. Imagine that just mixed with a bit of chili powder. They're really nice. Yeah. So crunch at the bottom. And then aloo bonda in the middle, or batata vada in the middle. We would always fight for the little bundis at the bottom whenever my mum made these. They are so tasty. And then the top. So you can put as much chutney as you want. Also, tomato ketchup is really good with this. So those are your vada pavs. The rest of them, I'm just going to scatter around here with some extra chutney as well. Let's cut one in half and see what it looks like, actually. I'm going to cut one in half just to show you what mine looks like on the inside. Let's use it over here. One moment. So there we go. That's what they look on the inside. Really so tasty. And they look really great. So when you're presenting them, you can cut a few of them in half. You can serve some of them whole. If you are wanting to cook them, for guests, you could just half fry them, the day before, keep them in the fridge, and then just finish them off just before your guests come. But I've made so many, I can't fit them on the plate, Andy. Let's do it in a nice way.
Don't worry, I'll finish it.
Yeah, I know you will. I know there's plenty of mouths here. But there we have it. We have a combination platter here. We have our vada pavs just hiding over here. But then we have our delicious batata vadas on their own. We've got a whole snack platter here now, and I've got two very hungry mouths. So this is the batata vada lesson. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be putting up a post on the Facebook page in the next hour or so. So before you dunk in, please take photos, or whenever you do, please take photos and post them up on there. I will be looking forward to seeing them. Thank you very much to everyone that joined me today. I've posted a pinned comment in the comment section just with a link to the Spice Club top secret mailing list. Why do I want to sign up to that? Well, I'm working on something quite exciting. We're working on something quite exciting.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Andy's in the know. And you will be getting information on that this week if you're on the mailing list. A little sneak peek. Can't do the full reveal yet because we're still working on it. It's really exciting, and I can't wait to share what we're doing. So have a look on there, sign up. The recipe for this will be written up and will be posted on spicediary.com tomorrow. So have a look on there if you want to catch up for a full written recipe. There is a link to the tip jar if anyone wants to help donate to fund future lessons. That would be much appreciated, but no pressure. Otherwise, thank you very, very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Dig in, don't forget to send a photo, and I will see you 2 weeks from today, and that will be August. It's crazy. Yeah. If you have any dish requests, let me know. But in the meantime, enjoy your Mumbai street food snacks, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, guys.
Mum says well done.
Andy, Mum says well done. Thanks, Mum. And Andy's saying bye as well. Thank you to Andy for helping me today. I'll see you later, guys. Bye-bye. And if we can... Yeah, thanks guys on YouTube. Thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. It's a bit of a funny one. You have to like scroll the mouse up until it comes up on screen. Yeah. There we go. Yay.